Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. Why am I flushed? What's up, YouTube? It is your girl, Miss Honey, here for another Power Book 4 Force Season 1 review. Today we're going to be talking about episode 8, and we have 2 more episodes before the season finale of Force. First things first, we are going to try to move as quickly as we possibly can, because although we were given a lot in this episode, honestly, I just don't know where the writers are going. So I don't want to invest too much time and too much energy. I would rather give you the layout of the land and then us hash it out in the comments down below, right? Don't forget to thumbs up this video, you guys. Do that before you leave. Go ahead and do it now. Don't forget to share this video if you get the first opportunity. If you are on Twitter or YouTube, Instagram, share the video, please. And of course, let's really hash it out down below. I only have a few questions because, like I said, I don't want to get too invested, because we really just don't know where they're going to drop all of these loose puzzle pieces that they have in this season, how they're going to drop it to complete this season out. First and foremost, let's get Diamond and Jannar out of the way. I think the two of them had the least impact, in my opinion, in this episode. We see where Diamond gives Jannar a facial. Basically, it was supposed to be a beard trim, but it looked more like a facial to me. And he kind of comes off like he's picking Jannar's brain about what would you do hypothetically. Let's say you were really in charge of everything that was going on right now. And Jannar plays the game. Jannar was like, well, fearless leader, this is what I do. I push everything into this Dahlia thing because, yeah, minus the Serbs 10% though, remember? Okay. Yeah, I would push everything, all of our money and all of our forces towards this whole. Diamond's like, listen, what we got with the Serbs pipeline, we're making good money. We're doing really good. Like, let's stay insurance salesmen. We don't need to be rock stars, guy. And Jannar's like, yeah, you're right, oh fearless leader. Yeah. You're genius as always. You see, you be thinking, brother. That's why I serve you, huh? And Diamond's like, exactly. Exactly, right? I was just like, okay. So then we see where Diamond gets to meet Claudia. Right? Claudia shows up and she has got a proposition for him. She's got this new thing, blowing people's heads back. You're not in this situation yet. I tell you what, I'll give you 10% of your sales, right? If you come on board as my distro. She is out of line. She is out of pocket. She is talking out of school. She is basically unknowingly blowing Tommy's spot up. It doesn't come across that way right now, but we're going to see a little bit more of the washout from her misstep here. But Diamond's on it. Diamond says, if you're only giving me 10%, that must mean you have partners. If you got partners, that means it has a potential for this thing to go south in a real messy way. I'll pass. And she was like, suit yourself. And he was like, but wait, first tell me, is the drug you talking about Dahlia? And she was like, goodbye. You don't need to know if you don't want to be a part of this thing. Diamond is teetering. You know what I'm saying? I want to be big time. I don't want to take no big time chances. Okay. We see where Adrian is busted. Diamond is on to her. Again, it's supposed to be this moment of wisdom, this moment of impartation where he busts her. He tells her basically she's been found out. Don't lie to me. She is not even remotely afraid. She does apologize. She rolls over, shows him her soft underbelly, purrs a little bit, and like he was ever a threat anyway to her. But basically she's saying, yeah, I was going to do this in the beginning, but I've decided that you're more important than any story. Right? Like, your penis is so fabulous. So we don't get to see any more really out of Diamond kind of after this. He also learns in this moment that she was never at the cafe to meet him, but she was there to meet a character that is dead and gone now, which is Elijah. Okay, that's fine. So Jennard and the new Elijah Blackston trying to figure out who's behind Dahlia. So Jennard brilliantly throws money at the situation. He and Vic have the same idea, the same answer to every conundrum. Throw some money at it, right? No real show of force, no real skill as drug dealers. In Jennard's case, as a street guy. 20 bands to anybody who can bring me any information back about this whole Dahlia situation. Like, run this thing down for me. Sends Blackston and Marshall out to do it. We see 2 hours later, basically, give or take, where Blackston, the new Elijah, and Marshall, the knucklehead who used to run with D-Mac, tell him that it's the Hasidics that are behind it. They're the ones that's running it, right? It's fine. I mean, your brother Diamond started this season out with having an issue with this Hispanic drug gang. You don't go to them. You don't, I don't know. I don't know why we're coming back with this whole storyline about the Hasidics and their pilgrims. Like, it was supposed to be funny. I get that. I really, really do get that. But stop wasting our time with these moments that are mildly amusing, but still kind of play our people of color characters out like they're dumb. I don't like the way they're writing CBI. And for so many black people to be in charge behind the scenes, for you guys not to have written Diamond and Jennard in this winning kind of way, or at least formidable foe kind of way, you're continually playing them out as weak and as dullards, as stupid. Like, we get to see a lot of stupidity from Jennard. At the same time, they're always verbally trying to tell us that he was this, stellar, brilliant, bound for college individual. But where's Sway? I just don't like how they're writing people of color. I don't like the fact that we repeatedly see the Hispanics or Latins, or however they refer to themselves, Cubans, whatever, taking drugs and being hungry on drugs. We see black people taking drugs. We never see the Hasidic Jews do anything other than deal the drugs. We don't really see them pull out a weapon in this episode. Be prepared to pull out a weapon. I don't know. They're kind of written as like lambs. They write the Hasidic Jews as like lambs in this scene. And the show is predominantly, I think, produced by people of color, but we don't write our people of color in this winning standpoint. One of the reasons why we love James St. Patrick, because although he was a drug dealer and a killer, he did so in this really brilliant kind of way, right? He was at least good at being bad. That's my whole point. So let's move on with Jennard. So he finds out, he gives them 20 bands, 10 bands each for this information. Then he takes this information, he goes and finds one of the Hasidic drug runners and confronts him broad daylight, hood down, full face. Give me the drugs. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to shoot you up. And the guy's like, what are you talking about? Pulls out a gun, gives the guy 2 to the belly, takes the guy barely, he never pulls out a weapon at all. I mean, we're to assume he had a knife or a gun or whatever, but they don't show him crime. They don't show him doing drugs. They don't show him exacting any violence. What makes the Hasidics formidable? They're not. They're just the lambs of the drug game, right? Like little baby lambs, right? Then Jannard, after shooting this guy, broad daylight, it had a silencer on it. He looks up at all the windows in the buildings around him because they're like in this alleyway, with tall buildings. And then puts his hood on and then runs off. The Jannard character is once again being played out as stupid. Remember, I thought that they had more potential CBI, than what they were being written for. I still think that's true, but since we're not going to get it, let's just talk about the stupidity on the table. It was ridiculous. He then takes those drugs and goes immediately with Marshall, not Blackston, not his number 2 Elijah guy. He takes this 16-year-old kid to meet the Indiana Connect and introduce them to Dahlia. Which I love Freddie Gibbs' character in this moment. He was giving me full on goon. And was it me? But was the eye the star of this scene? Like, that eye is mesmerizing. I cannot stop looking at it. And it is just like a typewriter, it's just like, it's hilarious. I love it, right? And Freddie gives us bona fide drug dealer. He's giving us, mad psycho, what I'm saying? I'll eat your liver with fava beans drug dealer. I love it. It's all I want from this franchise is give me some thrilling brutality, right? But again, they're showing our black characters hitting these drugs, taking these drugs, right? Like, no hesitation. Like, I'm snorting, I'm doing it, and my head blown back. I'm in. I want 5,000,000 keys. Tell me how much. Jannard says, hey, it's not about money. Enjoy yourself. He doesn't have more where there comes from. He doesn't have a bona fide plan that we know of. Not that he would share it with the Indiana Connect, aka Freddie Gibbs' character. No, but we don't even get to see him have these intelligent conversations with anyone about what his overall plan is and how he's going to move, because he's got nobody. He tells him, I don't need money. What I need for you to do is when I whistle, you ninjas come running with guns ablazing and lay waste to everything that's standing between me and this drug. And the drug is so impactful that the Indiana Connect says, bet, I'll kill everything moving on your word. That's how great this drug is. You got it. Bet. Right? Okay. So now let's just move into what Walter has going on. And we are going to go ahead and tie everything in with Tommy from this point on, right? Tommy is in these streets. Even without CBI, he's winning, right? Even without the Flynn's, he's winning. He's meeting up with the Latin gang, and he's meeting up with the Hasidics simultaneously. He's letting them know it's $55,000 a key. The Hasidic guy wants 3 keys off the rip, right? Can't be cut. I don't know how much these little black bricks can make, but must be plenty. So they're arguing. That's his issue, really, outside of the fact that he doesn't have enough product. He can't make the product fast enough. His issue is that people are arguing over who's going to buy the most. It's a good problem to have. Tommy again is not the hair trigger Tommy from the original Power. We see a more thought out Tommy, right? We thought he was going to eliminate the cook. Liliana thinks he's going to eliminate the cook, especially since she knows the actual formula now. But no, he says we need to add a cook because I need you out here on these streets. All right. And it's a good moment. It is definitely a good moment. Okay, like I said, Liliana is his consigliere, right? She is his sounding board. She is the person that he goes to talk to and work out his issues. He's still in charge. Right? But, he needs a cook. So cue up the JP drama. He goes over to Granny's house and he's pulling up carpet with JP. I'm telling you, every time I see JP inside the house, Granny's house, he comes across as scammy to me, right? He's doing everything he can to get Tommy to cry uncle and say, okay, yeah, you can come work for me. But we see in this episode that Tommy knows more about D-Mac now than he knows about his brother JP. Plus, JP keeps bringing up Kate. JP says they're foreclosing on the club. My daddy needs a stint. This house, he's a bona fide contractor, right? Okay. And I need money. You're not going to help me get money. Tommy concedes. He says, hey, you know what? How good are you at chemistry? Okay. This is to introduce JP to the drug game, not as a launderer with his club, which really fixes everything that JP has going on. No, you're going to invite him inside your circle to be the cook because you've seen him mixing and measuring. Seen no actual progress on this house, but you've seen him mixing and measuring. You've seen him mixing and measuring, but you don't question him at all when Granny dies on his watch. That's right. Tommy's grandmother dies in this episode, and it is while JP is visiting, right? We don't know what he mixed and measured for Granny, but that's fine. We're going to go in the direction that JP's supposed to be this asset to Tommy, but I don't think I don't feel he's an asset to Tommy. I think D-Mac is more of an asset to Tommy than JP is. I think he proves that in this episode as well. But yeah, JP's going to be the cook. We get to see where Tommy also gets JP's memory box that he's been putting together that has all the pictures and the videos on USB drive. He gives it to Tommy, right? And Tommy is contemplating everything that is his life has been about. Still with that, JP says, Granny's dead now. We got to call Kate. Like, we need to call our mom. And Tommy's like, no. Thank you for this box. Sorry about Granny, but we're not calling Kate. Tommy struggles with it. He's got these box of memories. He buries them. He hides them there in the loft. Okay. And he looks at Kate's number, but he does not call Kate. Okay. Just know that. We see where Liliana runs down her long list of boo-boos to the doc. And she does this with pride. It's her way of saying, one, I know how to take a hit. Like, I'm a true writer. I'm about this life. And two, she wants to impart to the doc, the chemist, that if you think that it's about luck, if you think you're going to survive based upon luck in this game, you're already dead. Luck don't show up on time. Luck is not your friend. Love does not live here anymore, darling. Okay, it's abandoned me. Okay, just a vacancy, right? Love, okay, luck don't live here anymore. And the doctor gets it, right? The doctor is like, okay, I thought we was bonded, but you still on that psycho. Yeah, she was like, yeah, exactly. We see where Tommy meets with Walter. Okay. And listen, oh my gosh, Walter is on one in this episode. He gets good news from the doctor, right? The doctor tells him that his cancer is very moderate, and if they go ahead and operate and do what they got to do, he could live. But Walter is like, nah. I got my heart set on dying. I got my heart set on fracturing my children and wounding them beyond repair, and also dying on them and leaving them with all this baggage, right? Same thing my dad did with me. We see where he comes for Claudia's dreams, right? He's going to crush him under his boot, right? Once I find out what you're working on, I'm going to crush it under my boot. It's a brutal scene. We see where Claudia lets him know under no circumstances if she's going to let that happen without a fight. They're positioning both Claudia and Vic in this episode to ultimately get rid of Walter. And honestly, it can't be too soon for me. I think we could have came in on this season with somebody killing Walter and then spend the rest of this season trying to figure out who was the more brutal, Vic or Claudia. Huh? Wouldn't that have been fun? But I digress. Okay, we see where Walter gives orders for Vic to find out what Claude is doing so he can burn her at the stake, essentially. Yes, his own daughter. And we see where Vic basically turns that down. Okay, Vic advises his dad against it, and he argues the point. Why didn't you tell her you're sick? Why didn't you tell me you were sick? Vic, you've known for a while that your dad is sick. You've known. You walked in on him talking to the doctor. So, okay, but let's just go with this nonsensical conversation in this scene. He says, I didn't tell you because you're going to be in charge. And Vic's like, fine, I'll do it. But it's Mr. and Mrs. Gloria Flynn. Okay? Make no mistake about that, Daddy. And Walter says, I wouldn't do that. Now, this is the third warning he gives Vic about Gloria. I wouldn't do that. Okay? At the same time, that he's having this conversation, he has already gone and talked before he talks to Vic, he has already gone and talked to Tommy. Okay? And Tommy didn't know that he was going to be interviewed. Right? But he tells the interviewer, which is Walter, F you, right? He gives him the two fingers. Right? Gives him the finger, right? F you, I don't want to have anything to do with you. But we learn a little bit more about Walter in this moment, right? One, the house is beautiful. Two, Walter talks about how brutal his dad was. He talks about how he and his brother were raised in Glasgow, right? He talks about they were called the Belfast Boys. How does this conversation relate to Tommy and ultimately Kate coming back? How does it relate to Granny and who was keeping Granny in the hospital? Is it supposed to be Kate? Do the Flynn's have something to do with it? Just asking. I'm just asking, why did we have this conversation and how does it tie into Tommy? Then he leaves this moment where we could have gotten some meat and goes back to the crumbs. This whole Gloria issue. He couldn't help but notice how Gloria had a thing for him. Your son don't care why you care. He low-key threatens Gloria through Tommy, right? Which sends Tommy running over to Vic to warn Vic about the fact that Dad is more worried about Gloria than he is about the Serbs. Okay? Like I said, when Tommy realized it was a job interview, he said, go F yourself. And he talked about how that Vic and Gloria were the most in love couple in the world. Okay? We see where Tommy then goes over to Vic's house and he warns Vic. He gives Vic a clean car. He gives Vic instructions about don't take no major highways, go back roads, get out of here, run, don't walk. Okay. And Vic then goes and talks to Gloria. That's right. Gloria is back. Yeah, she just went to the next town over. That's it, to get a new outfit. She went to that Marshall's because that Marshall's got more stuff than the Marshall's that's in the town that they in. And she wanted to get a really pretty outfit to die in, basically. Okay. Gather your things, love, my beloved wife. And pack your bags. I'm going to take you away from all this. I'm choosing you. And we're just going to abscond. He kept talking to Tommy about, how can I trust you? How can I trust you? Tommy saved your life several times now. But how can I trust you with this information? How do I know that you're moving in my direction? Tommy's like, look, if you think I'm not doing it for you, believe that I would do it for Gloria. Which is why he goes over and tells Gloria to pack her things. Then he goes back home to get grandmother's ring and pack his things, except Paulie is there. Now, Paulie has had a conversation with Walter. He tells him, listen, you got to have a come to Jesus meeting with your kids. You can't keep alienating them. We got this new drug out here. We want to push this new drug. We want to get behind this new drug because what we got going on is a thing of the past, basically. This new drug can really, really propel us in the money game, and your kids can help with that. And Walter's like, like Diamond, what we got going on is fine. It's tried and true. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. That's what the drug game is, sir. Chasing that high, right? You got to chase giving that high. So, also, he says to him, hey, about that girlfriend thing, this is what he tells Paulie. Do you think you can put a stop to all of that, right? We're supposed to believe this conversation that Paulie has had with Walter has changed Walter's heart. And Paulie says, yeah, I never picked it up to put it down, to stop it. I never started it to stop it, basically. Okay, all right, that's fine. It's fine, whatever. We see where Tommy once again reminisces over JP's memory box. And he realizes Claude needs to be kept busy. Claude not being busy is the issue, right? And he gives her an assignment. Now, he's had to haggle with Claudia this whole episode. We saw the last haggling she had was she wanted to bring Reggie in on it. Boom, Reggie ended up dead. Now she's trying to bring CBI in on it. He doesn't want to bring CBI in it yet because they've got discourse in their organization. And because there's discourse in that organization and the fact that he respects Diamond until Diamond can separate from Jannard, he can't really bring Diamond in on this. He loves Diamond to death in terms of being somebody that he could really, really, align himself with. But as long as Jannard is in play and Jannard is the ticking time bomb, he can't bring CBI in. And Claudia acts like she doesn't get it. That's when she goes behind his back and talks to Diamond. That's how her Diamond gets to meet her. She goes behind Tommy's back. This is infraction number 2. Really, this is infraction number 2. The fact that she was followed to the lab, okay, and the fact that she is once again gone against what he's told her to do, how he's told her to move. You got to you're either going to make an example of Claudia and bring her in line, or Claudia's going to be your arch nemesis at some point. You can't let these infractions go. You just can't. Period. Okay? So when he gives her this busy work to keep her busy, he has no idea that she's gone to see Diamond. But she lets him know, listen, you're doing me like my dad. You're not giving me any real responsibility. Tommy says, you're right. You know what? You take the clubs and I'll take the streets, right? It's everything she wants. The office with the corners, subordinates to rule over, a title, her name on the door. Like I said, in a corner office. This is all she wants in order to feel important. He gives it to her, right? Unbeknownst to him that she's gone and really put salt in the game as it pertains to Diamond. He doesn't know it yet, but she has. Okay? It's fine. No problem. She says, if I do this thing, my dad may come after us. He may come after us and try to bring this all down. Tommy said, this is drug dealing. This is what it always is. There's going to always be an enemy. There's always going to be somebody that's going to try to take your spot and take you down a peg or two. But your dad can get it too, capiche? And she's like, capiche, I got it. I mean, I want him dead. And he says, listen, if your dad comes after you, he's going to come after me. Right? Positioning Walter to die and Tommy take the blame for it. Tommy's going to take the blame for a lot of stuff. And I think ultimately we're going to see the Flynn siblings as formidable foes, or the new foe against Tommy. I don't think that Claudia is going to be working with Tommy as an ally for much longer. And y'all tell me what y'all think about that and put that down below. All right. So we also learned that D-Mac is a bit of a savant. He is hiding in broad daylight against looking for Tommy. Tommy sees him. They have this conversation. In this conversation, he learns that D-Mac is just this super, super smart savant, especially when it comes to numbers. He can multiply, divide, subtract, fraction, everything within 0.0000 of the actual number. I don't know. Whatever. He's a genius. He's a savant, right? And Tommy's like, I could really use you in this game. And D-Mac is like, yeah. See, what about the CBIs? I thought you was with you. No, I'm trying to diversify and fortify my yada yada yada, right? And Tommy's like, okay, good. Tell you what, I could use you. Stand by the phone. Wait by the phone. And D-Mac is super excited. At the same time, Tommy follows D-Mac and does what very few other people are doing in this season, and that's research. He gives D-Mac the thumbs up to his face, but he follows him to figure out what was going on. It's another ghost move. He's not as thorough. They write him seeing D-Mac hide his own memory box under a pile of leaves, which Tommy goes immediately and grabs the box, takes it with him, and he sees a picture of D-Mac on the shoulders of a much younger JP. Puts together that D-Mac is JP's son. Right? We don't expound upon it, but we see him put 2 and 2 together in this way. Right? We see where Vic then goes and decides, after Paulie shows up and tells him that Tommy was actually down to meet his dad. And Vic, who doesn't have a mind of his own, y'all know Gloria has his balls and his brain, right? And I say that because that's all his mind is on. Another character that started out strong in this season, we thought was going to be a formidable issue, was Begin Again. But we see Begin Again in this episode being blackmailed by a fellow cop. Again, you got all black writers, producers, that type of thing, and you keep writing people of color in this feckless way. Here's this white cop that comes up and gives Begin Again a light threatening. And Begin Again is so feckless and so ballless, okay, that he's shaking Begin Again down. Begin Again just just caves. Please don't do this. You know I got to take care of my sister. How much they paying you? He actually tells him how much they were paying him. And the guy was like, well, I'll take half of that, right? Give me $50,000. I can't take care of my sister and give you $50,000. You know what? I'm not a prick. You got 2 weeks to come up with the money. Then we see where Vic, who has even less balls than Begin Again, meets with Begin Again and tells him he needs him to find out where this drug is coming from and put them away. I was like, is he trying to say put them down? Kill them? Is this what Vic is asking for? He keeps saying put him away. Begin Again says, I can't do that. I can't arrest him. I'm not a DEA. I didn't say arrest him. Vic says, put him away. Do you mean put him down? Kill him? Doesn't matter. Begin Again says, it's going to cost you double what you normally give. So you don't even have the balls to get rid of this guy who's shaking you down, Begin Again. Instead, you're going to pay the guy off. You know he's going to come back for more, right? Again, a character that came out of the gate like they were formidable, but has turned out to be lily-livered. It's ridiculous. So after Vic talks with Paulie, he decides, you know what? Buck the $200,000 I paid to dabble in this whole drug industry. Forget that. I'm getting my girl and I'm leaving. Right? Goes and he gets Gloria, loads her up. Remember, Tommy gave him a clean car, clean title, everything to escape. He leaves that car and instead takes his own car because he didn't trust Tommy. And he decided he knows better and he's going to handle it. We get the classic riding along, woo, 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 I love you, no, I love you more, no, you hang up, no, you hang up, no, 3 hang up, right? They're at a stoplight, they go to pull off, and they're T-boned, right? We see a guy get out of the car, and Vic and Gloria are stunned. You know, the guy gets out of the car and starts blasting the car away. Vic tells Gloria to get down. And he gets down as well. But all the bullets seem to go in on her side. Now, there is a small little hole. Vic doesn't get out of the car. No. Instead, he sticks his gun through the hole and just shoots blindly at the guys through a hole in his windshield. Like, we have not seen Vic. I mean, he shot... He asks Gloria if she's okay, leans her back and realizes she's taken a fatal shot to the cheek. Gloria is no more. Gloria is dead. Vic loses it. We know that this moment is the catalyst that gets Vic really is going to get him hot on Tommy's trail. Now, Vic is not a formidable foe. Tommy's going to make quick work of Vic, but Vic is going to go ham. He's going to go ham, but it's going to be against Tommy. It's going to be against Tommy, right? Well, it's a crazy scene. It's a crazy scene, right? It should have been more impactful for us, but the way they kind of set up her leaving but being back, I mean, it's like she left to come back to be killed. It's weird. We see where Tommy's got the cook set up. He's got this, you know, he's got this whole empire set up, except he's got this loose cannon with Claudia. He's now found out that 2 people that he considers to be pivotal, which is the second cook, which is now JP, and the money man, which is supposed to be D-Mac, he might have an issue with the 2 of those. At the same time, we see where the episode ends on Kate, right? JP, like Claudia, goes against Tommy's wishes and calls Kate. and says, "It's me, your son." Right? Kate standing there in an acid wash two-piece, right? An acid wash jean two-piece dress set. And he says, "It's me, your son," and it pauses and the episode goes off with Kate going. The episode then goes off at that point. So here are our questions, right? Jannard, is he clever or not? Like I said on the podcast earlier today, Jannard cannot align himself with Tommy. Jannard is not smart enough to be Tommy's real foe, right? Diamond is the only one that's open to be Tommy's in alliance with Tommy, right? Tommy's gonna need an alliance because I believe ultimately, because he can't trust Claudia and because Vic is gonna be after him, right? I think we're gonna see Walter gone and we're gonna see Claudia and Vic against Tommy. Tommy and who? Tommy and Diamond. Right? It's the only thing that makes sense. And if we think about it along those lines, right? That means that the people that we don't really need to move into season 2 would be Jannard. We don't. Jannard is not a formidable foe. He isn't. He isn't. How can he be? Right? Okay. He set himself up not only to go to jail, but to be killed several times. He's dealing only with underage minors, right? He has no real crew at all. And while Diamond doesn't really have it either, Diamond has a more even keel demeanor. You know, Diamond can be governed. Diamond can be brought on board, you know. He brings something to the game that we have not yet seen from Jannard, right? So again, Jannard is possible fodder. I will say, honest to goodness, I don't know how long Vic is gonna last. I think Claudia is gonna be the one to really get rid of Walter. Obviously, cancer is not gonna kill Walter, but one of those kids will. Especially how he pushed up against Claudia. What you guys think? How is Walter gonna die? We don't need Walter in season 2. We're just talking about how this show can progress, at least until episode 10. Where is this thing headed? We don't really need JP. We don't. Diamond comes aboard. He can run the streets. We can put Liliana to be the second cook. She knows the formula. We don't need JP. JP brings nothing. We do need a money man because Claudia was supposed to be the money man. Remember, she's the money man in the Flynn household, in the Flynn organization. She don't want to be the money man here. He needs a money man here, somebody to move this money and work this thing in a Tasha kind of way. That's D-Mac. D-Mac has value. JP does not. JP does not. How can Kate break all of this up? What is Kate going to bring that's going to be an actual threat to Tommy? All Kate really has is her forked tongue. That's going to bring disinformation or new information that's going to rock Tommy's world as it pertains to the Flynn. We had this Glasgow, Baker Boys, what he called them? Belfast Boys conversation for a reason. How does it play a part? You guys tell me. Put it down below. I love to know. Who do you think is going to get killed? Who's going to be the two rival gangs? Put it down below. Tell me what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, honeybees, I'll holla.